All right, folks, please excuse the formal attire. It is just Friday afternoon and evening, so this won't be a habit. I will be heading out pretty soon. So just a brief update, and I will release this. It's not going to be a premiere or anything. You can just comment below in the comments. I encourage you to comment. I encourage you to share, and I encourage you to subscribe and like and all that other nasty shit. Let's talk a little bit about two topics: the death of Elijah Cummings and this allegation by Hillary Clinton that Russia is grooming a 2020 candidate of anonymous character. She wouldn't even use the name for a 2020 run. So we'll start first with Elijah Cummings. Now, a lot of people were saying, we should never speak ill of the dead. Let's be as sensitive as possible to the family and all of that. There was a piece. I'm going to pull it up right here. It says America owed better to Elijah Cummings, and it actually goes through his life and growing up in Baltimore and all of that. And you can look it up, and I'll try to share maybe an archived version. But there's something very conspicuous about this specific article. It's that while it talks a lot about his comments about Freddie Gray and about how there was racism when his family was involved in integrating pools in 1960s Baltimore, that's all well and good. And of course, they make this comment when Cummings eulogized the slain Baltimorean Freddie Gray in 2015, a police killing that sparked the second citywide riot in his lifetime. He talked about the messages that modern-day Americans are sending through their behavior to the inhabitants of tomorrow. I've often said that our children are the living messages we send to the future we will never see, the congressman said. But now our children are sending us to a future they will never see. What the hell does that even mean? And then he says there is something wrong with that picture. Gray was 25 when he died, the victim of an ongoing refusal to ensure the safety of America's most vulnerable as a principle. So this whole article, which is a eulogy to Elijah Cummings, it talks about his upbringing. It talks about his time, I guess he was a little too young for the civil rights movement. I believe he was born in 1951. So he was only he was alive for it, but he wasn't alive in order to be terribly active in it. But the fact is that they don't speak at all about his record serving in the House of Representatives since 1998 or serving in the Maryland House of Delegates for 13 years before that. It doesn't say anything about that. Because, actually, I think it was 1996 that he started serving there. But in any case, this is the classic case of people being forced to mourn for someone, regardless of their merits. Okay, and I can speak from personal experience that we had. This wasn't quite as national of a story. And I think it was 2008, our Congresswoman, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, died. And there was a lot of, praising and whatever about how nice of a person she was. And I'm sure she was a nice person. But she didn't do anything for the city. The city was going through a massive contraction. All the industry was leaving. What did this congresswoman do? Virtually nothing. And who did she get replaced with? Another congresswoman who did virtually nothing. And the only thing that really stayed constant was the fact that you have this person who happens to be of the preferred ethnic group, okay? Now, I'm not going to say you should elect a person who's not black to be in Congress here. I'm just saying that the fact is that these Congress people who are members of the Congressional Black Caucus are effectively provincial prefects for the Democratic Party. They're not involved in actually trying to change anything over here or fighting poverty or anything. We have plenty of poverty here, and for a number of communities, including black people. But the idea that we have in Baltimore, I live in Ohio, but in Baltimore, that we have this obligation. It says America owed better to Elijah Cummings. No, he was supposed to be elected for public service. And what actually is detailed in the article has nothing to do with his role as head of the House Oversight Committee, except mentioning that he had an adversarial relationship with Trump and that he fought with, I think it was with either Trey Gowdy or one of the other people on the committee who was a Republican, and that he was defending Hillary Clinton and all of that. That is not public service. I'm sure that in future years, those of us that support the right wing, we're going to look on Jim Jordan in favorable terms because he defended President Trump. That's not really Jim Jordan's job. Jim Jordan's job is to represent the district in Ohio that he was elected to. The job of Trey Gowdy was to represent the district in South Carolina that he was elected to represent. Part of that job includes government oversight. It does not include antagonizing even Hillary Clinton. But the fact that we're going to leave as his legacy that America owed better to Elijah Cummings, no, what he helped do was to cover up corruption on the part of Hillary Clinton and enter into a number of ridiculous witch hunts that didn't reveal any wrongdoing against a number of Trump associates. He's the one who got the Michael Cohen hearing scheduled, the one that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Democrats don't know what credibility means because they put on the witness stand this perjurer. So yeah, Elijah Cummings, I'm not going to dance on his grave as some other people would. But no, I don't think America owes him shit. I think the guy had a good run. He actually married a woman who was much younger than him, who was an aide to a different congressman, and she is now being presumed to be a leading candidate to replace him. She's the head of the Maryland Democratic Party, so she does have a good inside track. Okay, so that shows you exactly how the debt to Mr. Cummings is going to be repaid. It says it is widely assumed that Cummings' widow, Maya Rockimer Cummings, who is currently chairwoman of the Maryland Democratic Party, will think seriously about running. Rockimer Cummings has spent most of her career doing policy work in Washington, D.C. and is politically ambitious. So that's all the qualification you need. You don't need to have done anything for Baltimore. I don't even think she's from Baltimore. I believe she might be from Indiana or something, from what I read from a different biography. So it has nothing to do with whether you're representative of the community you come from. It has nothing to do with whether you actually have done anything for the community or done anything important. It's, apart from, I guess, marrying the right congressman and also being part of the right organizations. That's really the qualification. And that's the way things work in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to a large extent as well. I mean, think about it. Dick Cheney's daughter is the congresswoman from Wyoming, right? So that's that. Briefly, Hillary Clinton says Russians are grooming a 2020 candidate for a third-party run. And this is something I am loving. She is going to basically take a broom, as a witch would do, and sweep away a lot of independent voters by disparaging a specific candidate. It says Clinton does not mention Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard by name, and there are 5 Democratic women running for president this cycle. Gabbard, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, California Senator Kamala Harris, and author Marianne Williamson. So let's narrow it down. There's 6 women, right? There's a total of 5. Has anybody accused Elizabeth Warren of being an Assad puppet? No, she's not even a puppet of Tecumseh, right? Unless you consider she's 1/10/24 puppet of Tecumseh and Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull. Amy Klobuchar she's a puppet for, I don't know, like Swedish Fish or something. No, nothing to do with Assad, nothing to do with Putin, nothing. California Senator Kamala Harris, who they misspelled her name, Haria. I don't think that there's much to do with her. And what about Orb Mama Marianne Williamson? Well, she wasn't even on the debate stage for the past 2 debates. So it says, however, the comment appeared to be aimed at Gabbard. Wow, brilliant deduction by ABC. Gabbard fired back on Twitter on Friday afternoon. Great, thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long, have finally come out from behind the curtain. From the day I announced my candidacy, there has been a concerted campaign to destroy my reputation. We wondered who was behind it and why. Now we know it was always you, through your proxies and powerful allies in the corporate media and war machine. Afraid of the threat I pose, it's now clear that this primary is between you and me. Don't cowardly hide behind your proxies. Join the race directly. That is a brilliant message by tweet, but I'm afraid I don't have enough time to go into it today, but I will be writing something about it. This will rip the Democratic Party apart. Yes, there is not a huge amount of people who are planning to vote for Gabbard in the primary anyway, but we're talking about independents. We're talking about people who will vote in the general, and I believe it will convince a lot of them to stay home and not vote in the election. That's about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe to me on BitChute, Minds, and on Subscribestar if you want to donate. Those you can find me at Chef Leopard on all of those, and on Gab at Starscream85, and I'll talk to you later.